New equipment for the Royal Champion is being revealed in today's update sneak peek video. Yesterday, I ran you through all of the new defense and troop levels coming in the update, and this is not the last sneak peek. I still need to show you what is inside the Dark Spell Factory, so be sure to subscribe in order to see that video. We already revealed some of the quality of life changes coming in the update, but here's a couple more. You can now do regular clan wars and friendly wars in a different clan at the same time. There is a couple of other quality of life changes as well, but I will list those on your screen so that you can have a quick look. Before we get to the new equipment, I might as well very quickly share with you the bug fixes, but the big one is the Barbarian King's Gauntlet, which previously, when used after the Warden ability, would provide a second round of immunity. That will now be fixed. It obviously required an actual update. They weren't able to patch that one in a maintenance break. But onto the equipment. The Blacksmith you could always upgrade to level 9, but now you get equipment at level 7 and 8, not just extra storage capacity with your ore. Just so that it is clear for you though, at Town Hall 14, this is when you can upgrade your Blacksmith to level 7, unlocking your first piece of new Royal Champion equipment. You initially unlock her at Town Hall 13 with her base equipment, and that's kind of how the other heroes work as well. You get the Barbarian King with his base equipment at Town Hall 7, but you don't get any new equipment until Town Hall 8 and the subsequent Town Halls. The cost and time to upgrade is exactly the same as before the update, and if you'd already upgraded to level 7, you will just automatically get this new piece of equipment. Let's upgrade to the next piece of equipment as well before we discuss the Hog Rider puppet. Upgrading Blacksmith to level 8 at Town Hall 15 will unlock the Haste Vial. Exact same principles apply here, same cost and time to upgrade. It still increases your ore capacity. In terms of upgrades then, let's do them in the order they're unlocked. So the Hog Rider puppet first. You might have guessed, but its active ability is that it summons Hog Riders. What I think is really good about this ability is when you activate it, it turns the Royal Champion invisible for a small amount of time. This essentially allows the Hog Riders to get in front of her in order to tank. There are some hero boosts applied in that of health recovery and hit point increases, but obviously the main benefit of this one is those Hog Riders. When should you equip this though? You have to remember that if you have been upgrading the Royal Gem and Seeking Shield, you'll have to wait until your Hog Rider puppet gets a little bit higher in level and is closer to what you already have. Remember in my Gemming the Best Hero Equipment video, I did talk about level thresholds, and for common equipment, as you can notice with this, it is basically every 3 levels. That is when you get a significant jump in the active ability, and that is also when glowy ore is required for the upgrade. Just make sure you're factoring these in across all of your hero equipment when you are planning which upgrades you want to do. Interestingly, with the Hog Rider puppet, when you do get it to maximum level, the summoned Hog Riders are actually maximum level themselves. You've just got to remember with this ability that when you use it and spawn the Hog Riders, whilst the Royal Champion turns invisible for a second so the Hogs can get in front, they are susceptible to giant bombs, spring traps, splash damage from, let's say, the scatter shot. They can go down very easily, and then that piece of equipment is wasted. I will be using this in my Root Rider attacks, and I'll explain how once we get to strategy. Moving to the Haste Vial then, it is pretty straightforward in that it makes your Royal Champion faster, but it is applied throughout the attack in that of the hero boost and the active ability. Remember, just by equipping a piece of gear, you gain the hero boosts, so the Royal Champion gets a DPS increase and attacks faster with her spear. So the Haste is kind of applied throughout the entire attack. However, this goes into overdrive once you press the ability. The amount of time that your Royal Champion is sped up and exactly by how much depends on the level of your upgrade. With them both being common pieces of equipment, they both go up to level 18, and my good friend Clash Ninja calculated the entire cost of the ore. It is 27,260 shiny ore and 1,920 glowy ore. That's to go from level 1 through 18. With regards to the Haste Vial at level 18, let's take a look at when it is equipped and when it's not equipped. So when you purely equipped it, you can notice that the attack speed of the Royal Champion is increased, and that is throughout the entire attack as long as she is alive. When you press the ability though, she is faster to get to the defense, extremely fast actually, because her movement speed is normally only 24 and she gets a 38.3 increase, but her attack speed is also increased by 100%. So essentially she is dealing double damage whenever she's attacking. That is pretty significant, but obviously to use this piece of equipment, you have to give up either the Seeking Shield or the Royal Gem. The Royal Gem does give you a little bit extra DPS throughout the entire attack, but if you were to factor in the attack speed, they probably work out around about the same. So it's really the active ability making your Royal Champion twice as fast or giving you the health recovery. So you understand how they work individually, but obviously you can equip two pieces of gear. So what synergies are best for the Royal Champion? I will say I think the Seeking Shield is the least versatile, even though it is what we think of as the Royal Champion ability, unless you are using it early in the attack to snipe an air defense in a dragon attack, for example. You don't always know what value you're going to get if you're trying to hold the ability towards the end. And whilst the damage is up to 10,000, you might not utilize all of that. So whilst it still has its place, I think the other 3 bits of gear are going to be a lot more used. I do feel they are all well balanced, and what I like about the equipment is it really depends on the strategy you're using. You might want to go for pure damage. This would include the Royal Gem and the Haste Vial, because both of those provide base stat DPS increases to your Royal Champion. This is probably the best combination if you are just merging the Royal Champion in with an air attack such as dragons or your Lava Loon, and very well could also be the best if you're purely running the Royal Champion around the side of the base. However, if you are doing that, the Hog Riders might be better depending on the layout. If there's not really any room for traps, the Hog Riders can help you to rip through that area. If you are a player that likes Root Rider attacks, as I am, I will be using the Hog Rider puppet, because what I have found is in a lot of situations, because I'm not trying to utilize the Seeking Shield, I can press the Royal Champion ability just before I'm about to use my Warden ability, so that all of the Hog Riders are inside the Eternal Tome and they help to rip through the center of the base. For the moment, I will be using this alongside the Haste Vial, because when I use the Warden ability, the Royal Champion is sped up sniping defenses very quickly. On some occasions, she is then out in front of the Root Riders, which can be a negative, but since I use the Healing Tome with the Grand Warden, I don't always get the benefit of the Royal Gem, because my Royal Champion is getting healed up from that anyways. So you can see how there is always some pros and cons depending on which way that you go, but that is how I will be using the new Royal Champion equipment.